You're listening to WHFH 88.5 FM Flossmoor. The call-in number is 708-798-WHFH, 708-798-9434. And you're listening to Two Bees in the Pod cast.
We are back.
Welcome to the show. So today we will be discussing the hard lockdown that happened 2 weeks ago. Our school community was deeply affected, and this moment kind of stopped us in our tracks, made us reflect quite a bit on how important safety and trust is in our community. And there have been things put in place to prevent something happening in the future, and that has caused questions from the community. And with us today to discuss those questions is our principal, Dr. Clinton Alexander. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So first, we just kind of want to give our perspective on the day, and then we'll pass it over to you regarding how you saw it from your higher perspective. So, Barnett, if you want to go first.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, it was just a regular day. It was normal. I was in AP Psychology. This was during 6th period. And then out of nowhere, I just hear on the intercom that we're having a hard lockdown. Somebody was on campus. And, I'm not going to get too much into the explicit, nature of it, but it was just hard lockdown after hard lockdown. People were somewhat concerned. People were somewhat scared. And, for me, I think that situation, it really did kind of set in place like, life is precious. Life is minuscule, life is small, and we just have to kind of ensure safety for not only our staff, but for our students and for the entirety of Homewood Flossmoor.
Indeed. For me, I actually was not at school that day. I took a day off, but I still had to come to the school to drop off a form for the upcoming turnabout dance. While I was doing that, I saw police behind me as I was driving down Flossmoor Road, and I saw one ahead of me as well. And when I drove down Kedzie, I saw that they had both sides of the school with police presence. And the thing is, I'm thinking, well, maybe they're just here to, protect the school, because we have police presence at the school. You would agree, right, Dr. Alexander?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just thinking, maybe just they're just there, right? Then I see off-duty police officers pulling up, and I'm like, there's something that's actually happening. I start texting my friends. I got the news that they're in a hard lockdown. So now I'll pass it over to you, just seeing what was actually happening throughout the school. As I wasn't there and he was in the classroom at the time, what was it like from your perspective?
Yeah, excellent. And thank you for your versions of the story. And I really honor and commend your bravery to really advocate for safety and, projecting your voice. So I want to start by saying, to our entire school community, that's something that we always dread. That's your worst nightmare, is what we had happen, right? The blessing is that no one was harmed, right? So when I went to sleep that night, that's the first thing that I really resonated with me, that helped me sleep that night, that no one's child was harmed. So it was a routine Friday. We had a lot on the calendar. I had a lot on my calendar as your building principal. As you know, I'm in charge of the school from the building level. And so we were meeting with the subcommittee of the Board of Education that morning. I was in meetings all morning until midday. Midday we had an event that took place outside the library. And next thing I know, I got a call. And we had to respond to that call. That call was our worst nightmare, right? Hey, there is a gun that's been recovered in our school, right? And I can't go into detail about the incident itself, but that was permissible to go on a hard lockdown, right? Until we got to the bottom of things. We had to involve law enforcement, and we had to really neutralize threats, and we had to make sure that we identify perpetrators. We did all of that in a very timely manner. I'm really proud of our team for the way they responded to the crisis, and I think that we mitigated that to the best of our ability, right? Unfortunately, the collateral or unintended impact of that incident is that sometimes that breaks trust. Students don't feel as safe as they need to feel. Parents don't feel as safe as they need to feel letting their kids go to school. And so we have to reinforce the fact that, hey, we have to rebuild that trust through measures that we put in place.
So with that, we would like to say that our phone lines are open. If you would like to call in at 708-798-WHFH, 708-798-9434. So, Dr. Alexander, we just wanted to ask, what proactive safety measures are kind of being put in place? We've obviously seen the security guards doing random searches on certain students, but other than that, that can be seen by all students. What are some things that you can tell us that is happening behind the scenes or even in front of our eyes that we might not be noticing?
Yes. So you mentioned the random searches. We also have increased security presence. So the amount of people that we have on post per day, we're trying to double that. Our attempt is to double the amount of security that we had before the incident. We're talking to contractors and vendors about weapons detection, being proactive at our doors and in our buildings so we can be very preventative. And so those are things that we're doing as well. And then we are also doing a comprehensive safety audit that we are having a firm come in, right, with the Quantico training, FBI, CIA training that really understands the intel of proximity and our campuses. They're going to give us a full audit. With that audit, we're going to prioritize those red alerts that need to be fixed immediately, in addition to the weapons detection system that we get installed, in addition to the increasing of security, in addition to the random searches that we have in place, right? And the trainings that we have to give staff and students in these situations to make sure that they know how to respond when we do certain things, right? So I think it's comprehensive. It's a lot of moving parts.
All righty. Well, I think from my perspective, it's great to have Dr. Alexander here. It's great to talk about these things because I think Homewood Flossmoor is more than equipped to reinforce certain laws and certain, how can I say this? Certain aspects of protection for our students. We don't come at this with, aggression or extreme demand, but we handle this with righteous judgment. We handle this with the safety of our students in mind, and especially in terms of gun control, gun reform, especially in the society that we live in now. This is something that we responded to very, very, how can I say this? We responded to it in a very good manner and in a very amicable manner.
Yep. Well, with that, we do have a call in. This is Jackie from Flossmoor. What's your question, Jackie?
I hear what you're saying about all these new added security implementations and new measures, but will this make you personally feel safer at HF?
Well, for me, what I would say is that I do feel a little safer seeing more security guards around the campus, especially I've seen a lot of these faces before, but seeing them all together at the same time, in addition to knowing that there is intention behind what is going on to keep us safer, I do feel a little safer at the school than I did before. What would you say, Barnett?
Most definitely. I don't think that the presence of police or the presence of law enforcement is super intimidating when we know what's the reason behind it.
Right.
Obviously we have an incident. We have a hard lockdown that affected the school deeply. We have to find some way to respond to it. And I think with Dr. Alexander, I think with Homewood Flossmoor's implementation of protection for our students, we have to look at this as not intimidation and aggressiveness, but rightful reinforcement.
Yep. And what would your perspective be on that, Dr. Alexander?
I feel safe when you guys feel safe, right? So my barometer is you all, right? Because my job is to make you feel psychologically and physically safe. So I just kind of poll you guys to see how you're feeling and whatever is necessary to make sure that we have operative and very logistical structures that reinforce us so that we can learn and grow, because that's what we're here for. So, the fact that you guys feel the reinforcement and we're not even done, right? We're like halfway through the comprehensive plan. That's a good sign.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.
Well, I think that one takeaway here is that one event does not define our excellence as a school.
Absolutely.
And, Homewood Flossmoor is a blue ribbon school. We have some of the best facilities in the state, dare I say in the nation, with, our top A grade field house,
Yep.
Yeah.
and
Facts.
the new science building, the Net Zero Science building. So I just wanted to get your perspective on just how you guys are when I say you guys, I mean administration and the Board of Education, how you guys are carrying that mantra of just excellence and Viking excellence, even through such a tragic event.
Yeah. There's a saying that goes, you can spend a lifetime building a legacy and you could throw it away in 15 seconds, right? And so when we have those moments that create a blur on the canvas or the legacy that we're trying to create, it's very important as we get back on course is to remember the tradition and the excellence that has gotten us this far. Because if we dwell on, that negative hardship, then it can really, cast an aspersion on what reality is. When we think about what you all do day in, day out, how safe you are day in, day out, how strong our school culture is, how strong our academics are. You think about the extracurriculars that we have here. You think about our facilities. You think about the crazy support that we have from our community. That's what we stand for. We had an incident, and sometimes an individual can really set us back. But we have to keep a clear perspective as to who we are, how we move forward, and we will prepare excellently because that's what we do. So the way we respond is we respond excellently so that we could allow our school community and our students to continue to thrive and grow and go out and change the world. So I feel like the one negative incident does not define who we are and what we do, because I see brilliant people surrounded by me in this room. And when I walk in the hallways, I feel the energy that we permeate throughout our building and our campuses. So I feel very proud and I feel confident that we're going to course correct and we'll be great. We'll have a great year, great school year.
Wow. I think just to kind of touch on Dr. Alexander's certain points of excellence, tradition, culture, we've been doing that as long as I can remember. Even before I came to Homewood Flossmoor as an official student, I've always heard of them in the news as like, oh, they're doing this. A student got nominated for this. Somebody is making a big breakthrough in this. And, I think that even with this certain situation, even with this certain incident, our excellence and our tradition and our culture lies in our response. It doesn't actually lie within the action. It's how we respond to it. That's what makes us Homewood Flossmoor. I think even with a situation like this where people can look at Homewood Flossmoor and try to blemish our image or distort it or skew it towards something negative, we can reciprocate that with positivity and try to put a positive spin on it. Like, hey, we're going to respond to this with security for our students. We're going to respond to this with certain measures for our students, for our staff members, for our community, because that's who we are. That's what we represent. So,
Indeed. Well, with that, we wanted to ask you one last question, just in addition to the idea of living with that Viking excellence mantra. How are you trying to lead the school into putting a positive spin on this incident?
I'm a firm believer that how you do anything is how you do everything, right? And I think the consistency in time and space will allow us to look back at this as something that allowed us to grow and get better, right? So how I exude myself as a leader to you daily, I'm not going to quit doing that, right? I'm going to continue to lead with heart, conviction, and compassion for students and families, right? And I'm going to continue to be proactive, innovative, right? I want to be the morale and the barometer for our building. I'm going to continue to be that. And I think there's a saying, I'm full of sayings today, kind of poetic, meta-poetic today. When the leader sneezes, the followers catch the flu, right? So I'm going to sneeze positivity. I'm going to sneeze swag, commitment to excellence. And so the followers shall catch the flu of that same spirit. So I believe that that's how we get forward and move forward.
Indeed.
Well, I guess one saying that I would like to put into this is things don't happen to you, they happen for you. I think with this certain situation, it happened for us to respond in the way that we did. I think our community is much stronger now. I think we're more unified, and I think we're more focused on the fight to positivity and to how to implement positivity within our schools. Like, I don't really see anybody putting Homewood Flossmoor in a negative light, even though that might have been the expectation. But I think in light of this situation, in terms of a positive spin, we have, how can I say this? We have turned it around for the better. and we have turned a situation where something could have ended in tragedy, and we turned it into triumph. So, yeah.
Indeed. Well, that has been our show. If you want to do a little podtastic recap for our segment here, Twin, and close it out for us.
We welcome the great Dr. Alexander. We talked about our incident and what happened at Homewood Flossmoor 2 weeks ago, and we talked about how to turn it to a positive spin, how to turn tragedy into triumph, how to implement certain safety protocols and certain safety measures for our students, and how to just embrace Homewood Flossmoor for what it is: excellence, culture, tradition, and prosperity.
Well stated.
If you have any last remarks, Dr. Alexander, that you would like to say?
No, it's been a pleasure. This was a great experience. I appreciate all of the effort that goes into this, and I think this was a great show. I enjoyed myself. Thanks for having me.
Thank you
Thank you for coming on. Right. Well, that has been our show. It's been 2 B's in a Pod cast. This is All the Stars by Kendrick Lamar and SZA.